Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka The Beard Guy here, and welcome to another episode of Lunch with Norm, the rise of the microbrands.
Lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm.
Okay, so today's episode we're going to have Mina Elias on. Mina's going to be talking. Well, Mina is a multiple seven-figure seller in the supplement the supplement niche. He's an investor, PPC expert. He's founder of PPC University. He's been around, so I can't wait to talk to him. He's going to be talking to us about some really cool things today. So anyways, where are you, Kelsey? I know you were having some problems with your sound earlier.
Yeah, hopefully it's all fixed. Can you hear me?
What was that, Kels? I can't hear you. Yeah, right.
Funny guy. Okay, so happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Watching. We have Mark joining us. So how's your Friday going? Put it in the comments section. We'd love to know. Also, let us know where you're watching from. I think we have a bunch of new viewers over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, we'd love to get to know you a bit more. And a great place to do that is in the Beard Nation. So you can find it at Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and eCommerce Collective. That is our Facebook group. We call ourselves the Beard Nation, and I'll put the link in the comment section, as well as our YouTube channel, Norman Farrar. That's the name of the channel. It's not Lunch with Norm, but that's where we put all the highlights and Lunch with Norm episodes. So if you miss it, that's where you can go and find it. So it looks like
right. And I see there's a few Facebook users that are coming in. Kelsey, there's a URL that they can use so you can see their name.
Yes. So I'm going to do this right now. So if you are in the Facebook group and you're posting, you will come up as Facebook user like this. If you want to have your name show up with your picture, you need to use this link here, streamer.com/Facebook, and that will fix it. It's a one-time click. As well, if you're watching from Norm's personal Facebook page, we can't see your comments. They won't pop up on the screen. So if you want your comments to pop up on the screen, either go to our Facebook page, Lunch with Norm, or go to our Facebook group, and we'll be able to see all your comments. But that's it.
All right. And so the last thing, just doing part of Kelsey's job is that we love you. If you like what you're hearing, smash the like. If you like to subscribe, hit that, ring a bell, do whatever you have to do in social media these days. And on top of that, just wanted to give a few shout outs to Mark, Facebook user, Sarah, Simon, Dr. Kaz, Manny, a couple more Facebook users, Majid, Miro, and a few more Facebook users.
And Manny
there we go. Yep, Manny's there. So, and from Germany too. So I wonder where Andrew's going to be today. He's usually flying around the world somewhere, but
so it's Barb, Yarrow, and Akhtar.
Okay.
And we have Sarah too. So yeah. So if you guys use that link, we'll be able to see you.
Perfect. Okay, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the episode. All right, where are you, sir?
I am here in beautiful Marina del Rey in California.
Oh, take the knife out of my back. I'm just looking at a city of ice fishermen out there.
Oh, man.
Which is kind of cool, by the way. You're
into ice.
Well, yeah, if you're into ice. But the city dissolves at night and then comes all back in the day. It's kind of cool. But why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Cool. So my name is Mina Elias. I'm like Norm said, supplement seller on Amazon. I came to America in 2011, got my bachelor's in chemical engineering and chemistry, worked in the industry, got my master's in industrial engineering. Hated the 9-to-5 grind. Eventually decided to start my own supplement company. Didn't know how to go about selling anything because I was a really good engineer, just a very bad businessman because I didn't know anything. And then I was at this MMA event, and I wasn't selling, I was like promoting my supplements, and I sold 25 out of the 40 that I went with, and people kept asking me, where can I buy your supplements? And I didn't even have an e-commerce store set up or anything, because I didn't even know what an e-commerce store was, or how to even go about anything, or how can people order online, and I package the stuff and send it. So I just lied and I said it's going to be on Amazon soon. And then from there, I kind of had to fulfill that lie. So went home, did a ton of research, eventually got on Amazon, started on Amazon, got very aggressive with PPC, realized that PPC and reviews were kind of like the biggest contributors to my success. So I dove deeper and deeper into PPC, got better and better at it. Then, eventually became really good, started adding value in the groups and posting about it. And then people started asking me, hey, Mina, like, can you help me with PPC? Didn't want to keep trading my time for money doing consultations. So ended up just creating a course. It's a very technical course. It's just basically breaking down PPC, all of the different, knobs and everything that you can turn in PPC and what everything means, just explaining it all. From there, obviously, I'm very passionate about supplements. I've always been passionate about supplements. Ever since I think I was like 12 or 10 years old, I was passionate about supplements. So don't know where that comes from. I think it's a lot of like me thinking that supplements was the answer to unlocking my genetic code and, making me a better athlete. I've always been an athlete. I've been an MMA fighter since 2013. So from there, I kind of got more and more into the supplement space. I have now 4 brands, starting the 5th one with Samer Brax. He's also a YouTuber, FBA YouTuber, talks about Amazon FBA, and we're kind of showcasing, this is it. We're showcasing the entire, launch of the product, how we sourced it, everything. And, just trying to grow more and more in the supplement space. I invested in one brand last year in October. And, that was my first brand acquisition, and I'm just taking it day by day, trying to get better and better every single day. I'm all about not just business, but also physical optimization and business optimization and life optimization. So just living life and enjoying life.
In Marina Del Rey, and you got a tight beard too. So I just got to say that. There you go. All right. I know the first question that'll pop up here. I know it. Not that I'm a mind reader, but there's going to be about supplements, right? Is Amazon saturated for? Is Amazon too saturated to launch a supplement? That'll be the first question.
Okay. So. There's no such thing as anything being saturated if you are making someone's life better. So if you go ahead and you research some supplements, and then you see that, for example, collagen is blowing up, and you decide to sell collagen, you'll fail because you're not adding any value to anyone's life. However, if you do notice that collagen is, blowing up, and then you decide to say, you know what, the issue with collagen is it's clumpy, or the issue with collagen is that it's not getting absorbed enough, or the issue with collagen is that I would love if it had this, and that, which would make it better, and you make a better product. There is no such thing as a saturated, supplement market, because it's almost like a pizza or a burger. You can never make the best pizza, because you can always come up with a better pizza. And that's why, pizza places keep opening up and coffee places keep opening up, is because they keep innovating and they keep coming up with new stuff. And it's the same with supplements. So is the supplement market saturated? It's not. There is a lot of competitors out there, but as long as you keep creating a solution to a problem that's better than everyone else's solution, there's a market out there for you.
So make the better mousetrap, right?
Yeah.
And just listening to what you were saying, that could go for any product. You could be selling a plastic shoe stretcher. You could be selling the spatula, and just improve on it. Like what can you do, or how can you bundle it differently? And I guess the other thing people should probably do is make sure you do your market research, because let's just take supplements are so perfect for this. You can go to a crappy manufacturer and just have a crappy design and a brand, and it's going to do nothing. And if you go to a quality, and if you do your market research and you get proper branding and you can launch it properly on Amazon, you've got a much better chance of right from the get-go of getting those sales with an optimized listing with proper customer analysis.
Exactly. And if you're thinking, hey, I want to get into a supplement, or I want to get into a niche early on, I want to beat everyone. I'm worried about, anyone knowing what my product is. You're already failing right from the beginning, because you have to, like, there's no point in me trying to create a something that's going to make me a quick buck. Like, you have to think of the business as evergreen. So I'll use Neuro as like this one. Where is it? This one as a perfect example. So what is this product, right?
Oh my God, hold it. Stop. You just showed your brand. I know it's not normal for Amazon sellers to show their brand, but okay.
So this is how it came about, right? I was talking to Samar, right, and he loves coffee. However, he has a problem with coffee. For my problem with coffee, I love coffee. I only have it once a week on Saturdays because it's very addicting, and I don't want that to be dependent on it. Are you drinking coffee?
I am.
Exactly.
Twice during this podcast, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't want to be dependent on it. Now, Samar drinks coffee every single day, but it makes him jittery. It gives him a little bit of anxiety, messes up with his sleep. So I said, okay, let's create something that's an alternative to coffee. The caffeine comes from natural sources. Let's add MCT oil. So instead of having that coffee energy, boost and crash, it'll be a long sustaining. Think bulletproof coffee. So it's MCT oils from coconut cream. That's where we're getting it. Let's add something to it. Let's add nootropics. We added lion's mane, cordyceps reishi, something to help boost your brain. They're superfoods anyways. I said, let's take it even a step further. Coffee kind of burns your adrenal glands. Ashwagandha and maca are adaptogens that will, lower your cortisol, lower your stress levels. So they'll replenish your adrenal glands. So, let's kind of fix that problem. And then let's take it all the way, to the end and add like the beautiful components of chai and cacao. So we added cacao, and cacao is a superfood. It really helps with a lot of things: heart health, brain health, sexual function, everything. And then as well as ginger, turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, all of these beautiful things, and make one full complete latte that's kind of like, think of coffee but 10 times better. And it's not to fully replace coffee. I know that everyone loves their coffee, but hey, before reaching for that second cup, maybe try a little bit of Neuro. Before or if you want to start your morning right, you love that, like, the feeling of a coffee or a tea in the morning. Instead of taking something that might kind of cause you jitters, here's something a little bit better. And so that's why I'm not worried. I just pretty much found a problem, and I created a solution to that problem. I looked at the market. I went to stores like Erewhon, Whole Foods. I talked to the people there. I said, hey guys, what's moving on your shelves in the supplement stores? And there was an astounding, like, mushrooms. And there's one other product that's moving, but a lot of mushrooms. And I was like, mushrooms is becoming a big thing. I totally see it. They have a lot of benefits. So I said, let's incorporate that. I was actually, do you know what golden milk is?
No.
So golden milk is basically like, you take coconut milk and you take turmeric and some other stuff, and you kind of boil it. And then you pour it into a cup and you drink it, and it's the turmeric and all of that kind of stuff is a very good anti-inflammatory. And then the coconut milk has like a lot of healthy fats. So I was taking that golden milk and adding mushrooms to it, my own like lion's mane cordyceps blend. I said, this is a good thing to kind of drink while I'm working, and gives me a little boost of focus. And so that's when Samar came in, and we kind of like came up with that idea. It's like, let's create something that's better. And so for me, I'm not worried about anything being like a saturated market, because I just invented something that's better than everyone else. So maybe someone else is going to come and invent something even better, and then it falls back to, number one, am I continuously improving, and number two, how well am I branded? And I talk about my brand all the time. I'm very open about Hydrolyte, which is my supplement brand. So, that's kind of how I go about things.
Well, you've mentioned a few things here. So first of all, you did research outside of Amazon, which was kind of cool, going to a retail store and saying what's moving off the shelves. I don't hear that very often. And, that's a great way of market research. The other thing, when you were in the retail store, did you notice that the packaging was more for retail and what not to do for Amazon? There's standardized packaging on retail, correct?
Yeah, and honestly, in retail, you see a lot of ugly packaging.
Right.
But when you go to places like Erewhon, you do notice a lot of beautiful packaging. Have you ever heard of Erewhon?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. It's almost like Whole Foods on steroids. Like it's smaller. A little thing of blueberries is $13, so it's a very high end, Whole Foods type store. The packaging there is beautiful. I actually go there to get ideas for my packaging.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going again, just listening to the brand, not the supplement, but what are you focusing on? You're focusing on benefits. You're focusing on, what and problems, pain points that people are having. So that can happen with everybody's listing. So, it's kind of interesting listening to the tips and the strategies that you've already come up with for your brand. And the other thing that I like, we haven't talked about price point yet, but your price point is higher than most other brands that are out there. Can you show us, take a look at the packaging that Mina has?
One?
Yeah, any of your packaging, it's always fantastic. So you've spent money. Not a ton of money, but you spent money on packaging, perceived values there. Your listings, and I've seen your listings, so I know what your brand is. They look great. So it's all upfront time and effort. And I know we had who was it just recently? Jeff Sass was on. He talks about brand and how to build out that brand story. That's really what you're doing. Is it's the overall look and feel of the product, and you can kill your competitions if it's a plastic shoe stretcher or a plastic spatula. And a matter of fact, this sounds really crazy, but I just looked at something like I think it was a plastic spatula, a silicone spatula, and I saw this really cool one. Come on, ASM1, they were doing plastic spatulas and it was saturated. And there's still new people coming out there eating up the competition with new ideas on plastic spatula or silicone spatulas.
Yeah,
so
there's always going to be innovation. There's always going to be innovation.
Okay, I'm kind of interested now on the PPC side. So I'm thinking supplements are going to suck the life out of you when you're spending money. When do you know when to turn off the cash or you'll go broke?
Okay, so this is my approach to PPC. So first of all, it's 100% an investment. I just launched a new product for one of my brands very, very recently. The goal, I told my team, this is the goal. For the first 2 months, I want every single dollar of profit coming in from the sales to be used up on PPC. So let's say my profit is $10 per unit. That means if I'm selling 10 units a day, I want my PPC spend to be $100. If I'm selling 20, I want it to be 200. If I'm selling 30, I want it to be 300. Within less than a week, I was already at 45 units of sales per day. I was spending $350 to $450 a day on PPC spend in the first week, but the sales, I was making that profit right from the sales. When I start my first month, at least my first month, I don't want to make any money. I want to spend as aggressively as possible on PPC to get as much velocity as possible, because that's going to trigger the Amazon algorithm and let them know that this product is moving. Now, how do I go about this in combination with ranking and using Rankable, for example, for search, find, buy? So at the beginning, I'll go in. I have my 4 auto campaigns. I break them up: close match, loose match, complement, substitutes. Have that discovering stuff for me. I'll have my main keyword. So main keyword, basically look at your top 10 competitors. It's the earliest keyword in their title. So I have my main keyword, and then I'll take my top 10 competitors, put them in Helium 10, do a reverse ASIN lookup. It'll pull up all of their keywords. I'll do a minimum ranking competitors of 9, which will get me the intersection of all of those competitors, like the keywords that all of those competitors have in common. I'll pretty much get 200 or so, or 300 keywords. From there, I'll rank it by search volume, and I'll create campaigns, 10 keywords per campaign for every single one of for those keywords. So if there's 200, that'll be like 20 campaigns, and then it'll be 20 broad, 20 phrase, 20 exact, so 60. From there, I'll look at the keywords that have maybe 2,000, 3,000 search volume, and I'll wait a week and I'll start hammering them one by one. So I'll say, okay, for example, hydration powder for keto. That's a 2,000 searches a month keyword. I'll create a separate campaign for it, one broad, one phrase, one exact. So that's 3 separate campaigns. I'll hit it a little bit harder, maybe instead of like a $1.50 bid where we usually start, I do $3, and then I'll do a ranking campaign with Rank Bell where I'd go up, hit it maybe like at 5 units a day or 7 units a day for an extended period of time, maybe 10 to 14 days, and then go down. And I will very, very quickly win that keyword, and then I'll move on to the next one. And it takes, first of all, it's whatever your budget is, right? So, for me, at least I know let's say I put $10,000 in cost of goods. I don't want to see that $10,000 until like 2 months. I want all the money that's coming in profit, I want to use it for PPC. And then maybe I'll allocate like an extra $2,000 or so, or to doing search find buys, 2,000 or 3,000. So whatever I can afford. Sometimes I can afford a lot. Sometimes I can't afford that much. And then, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so you're using PPC, you're using rebates,
Yep.
and you're using high quality rebates. So like Isabella over at Rank Bell, she's not the cheapest rebate in out there, but you're not using a rebate network that's free and looking for lowest price possible, which could be a problem as well. So I just want to touch on rebates for a second. I've heard, so I hear this all the time. Rebates are either not effective or they'll shut down your listing, and I use rebates, by the way. I use a lot of rebates. I just want to hear your version on what's going on. What's true about rebates right now?
Yeah, so I don't think rebates are going to shut down your listing unless you're going for very like low quality rebates. Like if you're going to a certain like group where everyone's looking for 100% off, like coupons. Like if you're doing the method of you find someone, you give them the money, $20. Let's say your product's $20. You give them the $20 on PayPal or Venmo or Cash App, whatever, and then they go and search a keyword and buy your product. I think that's good if they have normal human behavior. If they're not like, I don't want to like say, if they're not like being used, overly used, things like that, you'll be fine. If they're low quality, maybe it's an issue. I don't know. I haven't heard of anyone's listing getting shut down because of that. However, when it comes to me doing rebates, the reason I see rebates not working is a couple things. If your listing sucks, it's not going to work. Like,
that's right.
What's the point of getting to the top? Because once you're at the top, you're going to be compared with the top. So if you're on page 1, you're going to be compared with the people on page 1. If you can't hang, you can't hang. Now, you having 10 reviews, I don't think is going to hurt you, but you having an ugly main image, or your title is not that great. Someone clicks on it, they go in, the listing images don't really sell the product. That's when you're going to be like, oh, well, ranking didn't work. I'm like, well, once your product is up there, is it going to hang? And then what I see a lot of people do is they say, okay, I want to do 7 giveaways for, let's say 10 days. And they'll go 7, and then stop. And I'm like, so you moved up to page 1 and your sales are going up. And then all of a sudden you cut off.
Yep.
How do you expect Amazon to not be like, oh, people aren't interested in this product anymore, bring it down? So it's not just getting to page 1, it's getting to page 1, staying up there a little bit, just enough until your PPC sales and organic sales. And that's why I really use a lot of PPC aggressively, is to, complement what I'm doing with my ranking. Because if I'm just focused on my ranking and not enough PPC, I'm not going to be able to sustain that. So, and I'll taper up, stay up there, and then taper down to make it look as natural as possible. And when I taper, I don't go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. No, it's like 1, 3, 2, 2, 5, 4, very randomized to, make sure that there's no triggers or anything like that.
Yeah, I call that the heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people just do either plateau or this really crazy incline and then they drop off. But I can't agree with you more. The first method, here's coffee time. Thank you. I'll just do some Jeopardy music while this is going on. Thank you so much. Second cup. All right. And I know you're going to roll your eyes. But what you said.
Okay, I'll send you one. I'll send you one about when it comes out.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. But the Brady Bunch effect, that's what we call, if people go to the front page and you spend all this time getting, even with PPC, or if your listing sucks and you can't compete with the Brady Bunch, then nobody's going to click on that listing, no matter how much. And then you hear people complaining, oh, the rebate didn't work. No, your listing didn't work. And the other thing that I agree 100% on, we see this all the time where, okay, we've made a calculation that we need to have 54 or 104 rebates. We've got to put that out. We know the sales velocity for this group of keywords. This is what we need. It's a simple formula. But I'd rather give out 24 units than don't do the rebates because it's not going to achieve what you need to do.
Or do it on a lower keyword.
Yeah, or yes, exactly. Do a few more long tails. But the single biggest problem that I've seen, and I Shane and I over at PR Reach, we talk about is not following through with maintenance. You see that plateau, and then boom, like you say, and it only takes a few rebates to maintain those keywords after your rebate campaign. So if you gave out 100, maybe you only have to give out 5 here and there. But you look at Helium 10 and just make sure that your keywords are maintaining. So what a really great tip. I like that. And now you were going to be talking about some other strategy, I think, before I rudely interrupted you.
Some other strategy. What
you were talking about rebates, and then you were starting to talk about another subject.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I have a bad habit of interrupting people.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean, I was generally just talking about PPC. So after I launch all of those campaigns for PPC, from there I'll wait a week and I'll start, extracting all of the keywords from the search term reports and launching campaigns. It's not uncommon that like in the first 3 weeks, I already have 150, 200 campaigns launched for my PPC.
Really?
Yeah. And because the reason I do this is I never put any more than 10 keywords per campaign. And what I've seen anecdotally is that if I do more than 10, Amazon's going to look at the keywords and say which ones are driving the most traffic and the most sales, and then funnel all the budget there. And the other ones are not going to get any budget, which is essentially like I'm not even running PPC on them. So some people will have like a campaigns with 307 keywords. And I'll say, and they'll think that they're bidding on 307 keywords. I'm like, you're only bidding on 10 keywords or 12 keywords. But these other ones, they're not even getting visibility because Amazon's going to say, which ones are the main ones? Like which ones are the most likely to get us the sales? And then they're just giving that the budget. Why Amazon wants to help you make sales? Because, contrary to popular belief, when you make sales, Amazon makes a lot of money. They make pretty much as much profit as you do, at least. And so Amazon wants you to sell. Even if you think like Amazon wants you to spend on PPC, Amazon makes way more money. It makes like $6 or $7 every time you sell, and so Amazon wants to help you sell. So it's going to look at your PPC and say, what's the highest likelihood of this product selling? And they're going to pump that money there. So when you have 300 keywords, they're only going to choose the best one. So I break all of my keywords up 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And I bid in every single category, broad, phrase, and exact. Because people think, hey, like let's say I'm bidding electrolyte powder broad. And then I found unflavored electrolyte powder. So I'm going to negative it in broad and put it in phrase, and then negative in phrase, put it in exact. I don't get it. You have to understand they behave completely differently. So unflavored electrolyte as a broad keyword and unflavored electrolyte as a phrase and exact, completely different keywords. It's like they're not even remotely similar because the broad one is triggering for a lot of different keywords. The phrase one is triggering for a little bit less, but still more keywords. And the exact one is just for that. And you cannot assume that because unflavored electrolyte is doing well in the unflavor in the electrolyte powder broad campaign that it's going to do well as an exact campaign or a phrase campaign. You just can't jump to that assumption. Just because it's doing well in one doesn't mean it's going to do well in the others. And that's where I take a very data-driven approach. I'm like, okay, cool. Any keyword that's been clicked on a few times means that people are interested in it. So I just extract that, launch it in all the match types, and then I let the data dictate. Say, what's the ACOS looking like? For that keyword, is the ACOS favorable? Yes, okay, let's keep it. No, let's lower the bid. And that takes me kind of back to the point is like, what's your spend and all of that kind of stuff. In the let's say my profit margin is 50%. So if my profit margin is 50% for the first 2 months, my target ACOS is 100%. So double my profit margin, which basically means for me, I've generally seen that double my profit margin as an ACOS is pretty much equal to my total ACOS equaling my profit margin. So me not making any money for the first 2 months. And then after that, I'll drop it to 75% ACOS, which is 1.5 times my profit margin. And that'll kind of drop it from my total ACOS being 50% to maybe 40%. So I'll be making 10% profit around then. And again, I'm trying to keep the sales velocity growing and the sales growing as much as possible because it's a long-term plan. I'm not here to come in, be profitable as much as possible, and then jump out. Like, that's not how you make millions. You need a very long, sustainable plan. So my long, sustainable plan is let me get the product to sell 50, 60 units a day, and then maintain here. If I can get a really good hero product that's going to do 150, 200, 300 sales a day, that would be amazing. But my goal is, okay, let's just hit 50, 60 sales a day and then keep it there. So again, month 3 to month 6, I'm at 75% ACOS. And then month 7 to month 9 or 10, I'm at 50%, which is break even. So my ACOS equals my profit margin, but then my total ACOS will pretty much be somewhere around the 25%. And then after that, once I get to month 11 and 12, my target ACOS will be, around 40, 30%, which will generally drop my total ACOS, which is effectively like how much of my profit Amazon is taking in terms of advertising, to around 15%.
Okay. Kelsey, do we have questions?
Yeah, we have tons of questions. So first one from Simon. If a product wasn't launched correctly a few months ago, would you create a new ASIN and relaunch?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I've done both. You can do both. So, okay, the one thing that I would say is, if a product wasn't launched correctly a few months ago, if you don't have a ton of reviews, and I'm like, for me, in 2 months, I usually have 60 reviews. So if you're anything under like 20 reviews, I would say relaunch it and be way more aggressive. You can get 20 reviews like this.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And make sure when you relaunch it that you check it, double check it, triple check it for optimization, because you can relaunch it with the same crappy listing and you'll end up with the same type of launch results.
And here's a quick tip, guys. So people think to have a beautiful listing, it's going to be very expensive because of graphics. No, I found this guy, he's sent from heaven, nolimitcreatives.com. So I found him like a couple years ago. Stephen Black mentioned him, and I went to No Limit Creatives. Literally, they have an Amazon package, 8 images. It's for $150. Wow. You can't beat it. It's 8 images for $150. And I want you to go and look at their portfolio. The images are so beautiful, so beautiful. And the one thing that I would say is make sure that every single image says features, benefits, and why it matters to me as a customer. I don't care if you have a benefit of long-lasting elastic support. Why do I care? Spell it out to me. I need to know exactly why it matters, because this is what people are doing on Amazon when they're buying something. This is exactly what I did. I just bought a new standing desk. This is exactly what I did. I said, okay, what's one thing I can find on this listing so I can disqualify it? And that's what everyone is doing on your listing. They're looking for the first thing. They have 4 listings open. They have you, competitor. They're like, okay, this one is too short. delete it. For me, I was like, this one is only 48 inches. I need something that's at least 55 inches. Delete it. Okay, this one doesn't have memory settings. I want something that I can just click a button and it goes to delete it. Okay, this one is white and black. I want it all white. Delete it. Okay, I'm left with one that has all of the things that I kind of want. And that's what people are doing. So if they have to think too long about the benefits of your product, you're disqualified.
But you know what? The other thing that a lot of people do, and I don't know why, is they write a whole bloody book on their image. It's crazy. Like, I don't know why, but they'll put a full paragraph. Yeah. And so just put in your bullet points. So just, really quick. If sometimes it's directions. Okay, two words at the end. Enjoy. Very, very simple. What was the name of that company again? And Kelsey, can you let me know? Can we write that?
Yeah.
No Limit Creatives. So No Limit Creatives. And Jeff Minickbach, he's out in Maryland. Dude, great guy. Very humble. Like, it's crazy, but his team is over 250 people now, and all graphic designers. The reason that he can do this is they're all over the world. Like, they're VAs. So he's able to keep the price point cheap. And honestly, it was a godsend, because like, I was struggling with being able to find someone who can do listings. I went to Fiverr, I made all these mistakes. I go to Fiverr, get the crappy listing images. And when you really get good listing images, everything kind of, skyrockets.
There's my nugget of the day. I'm always looking for good product photographers. Do they do video?
Yeah, they do video too.
Okay, great.
I think you can agree on this. The hardest thing for us to find as business owners is good and reliable resources and employees.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think the hardest thing in business. And I think that's what really can take a company from here to here, is how good is your team and how good is the resources around you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Kelsey, there's a bunch of questions, it looks like.
Yeah. So this is from Gideon. Can Pixelfy risk your accounts?
Not that I've experienced, but if you do something stupid, maybe, but not that I've experienced.
Do you use super URLs?
So I don't use super URLs. I use Pixelfy for deep links only. Deep links and the review link. So the deep link is because if you ever, even like, if we're best friends, if you ever send me a link and I have to log into my Amazon account, I'm not doing it. Like, there's no way. So I use the deep link so that when people click on that link, it opens in the native Amazon app. And so it's already logged in. Everything is done for them. They just have to click the buy button, that's exactly what I want. Now with the reviews, it takes them to that again in the app. It opens my product, will be like Hydrolyte Energizer with the review already open. So all they have to do is type in, great product. I love this. This was good. Done. And then what I do is I also 7 days or 8 days later, after they send me the review, I send them a link, and I say, hey, would you mind uploading a picture? It will take only 2 seconds. And so because it's 14 days later, they're like, oh yeah, sure. They take it out, they take a picture of the product and they upload it. And I've noticed that regular reviews versus reviews with pictures, massive difference. And there's a much higher chance of the review sticking when an image is uploaded.
Okay, so I use Pixelfy. Let's go through this, because there's probably a lot of people on this call right now that have no idea what we're talking about. So
Okay.
Let's start by taking the raw link, going into Pixelfy. Just go through those action steps.
Okay, so you go into Pixelfy, right? And you click create a tracking link. You go in there, it's going to give you a bunch of options. Just do the regular tracking link. You don't need to do the super URL, the keyword rotator. Just go with the regular one, or with the review one. So with the regular one, it's going to ask you what's the ASIN. You input the ASIN, scroll down, create link. It's going to open a URL. It's going to be pixelfy.me/blah, blah, blah, weird stuff like letters. Just do edit URL and change that after the slash. Make it something that's easy. So for example, I have pixelfy.me/energizer. And then you click. So it's easy for me to even mention it anywhere, like I just did right now. And once you can take that link, send it to people. And if they open it on their phone, instead of like opening a browser or anything, it'll like shift and open the Amazon app.
And that's the deep link. That's the difference between a deep link. It'll actually open up that Amazon app on your phone.
Yeah. And that is incredibly important because the amount of friction that it takes, I still do not know, can't remember off the top of my head my Amazon.com password because I have not had to put it in for so long. Like it's the account is on my phone, the app is on my phone. I never have to think about it. So if I send someone a link like, you know, Amazon.com/my ASIN, and it opens and it's like, please, what's your login, username, and password? You've lost that person. And so when you create that friction, it's almost impossible to get it done. And I always tell people, minimize the friction and minimize the fatigue. Some people will say, hey, Norm, can you please search electrolyte powder? Find my product, buy it. Okay, 7 days later, can you please do a review? You're fatiguing the person. You're fatiguing the person and they're not going to do it. Make it as quick and as easy as possible. If you're going to use someone for search, find, buy, use them for that. If you're going to use someone for reviews, use them for that. Don't strain a buyer because you'll lose them forever.
Very good.
Okay, great. Back to No Limit Creatives. Do you know how much they are to use?
Yes. So off the top of my head, the Amazon package, it's $150 for 8 images. So you can get your main image and 7 listing images done, or you can get 8 listing images done. It's also $150 for enhanced brand content. So you can, get all of your modules done for enhanced brand content for $150. So if you think about that, what is 150 divided by 8? Is like 25 or something like that. Very cheap per picture. Now, if you want them full time, which I do, because I have multiple brands, I'm constantly improving images, pumping out Instagram content, pumping out content everywhere. There's a monthly unlimited $450. So it's $450, unlimited images. I pump out between 60 to 80 images a month at least. And this is the thing. If you create one image, let's say, I create an image where I'm like drinking this and there's something in the background. I can do 10 of those and they count as one if I'm just like changing the background, So it's like you get 60 kind of tasks, but you can get, 600 images, like actual images, if you're like changing like little things in those tasks. So, it's taking my game to the next level because really, if you look at my content, visit my website, look at my Hydrolyte Energizer is the perfect because that's the one where I spent the most energy on my listing, like images, getting them right. It's beautiful. Like, and I look better. My friend has a $30 million supplement company, and my images like look better than his. And he's got like, he's got the money to spend. And so like No Limit Creatives was definitely a huge game changer for me. I'm not plugging them or anything. Like this is going to help you people. Like it's going to help you. I can't think of anything that I found cheaper.
Okay. Just before the next question, actually, you've talked about this. Are there any apps or tools that are not on the mainstream, like people know about that you're using that have changed your game?
Not really. Nothing. I don't have any like crazy secrets. I just have very good systems, standard operating procedures. I train my employees super well, and basically I can duplicate myself. And so if I can give one piece of advice to anyone is have very solid SOPs. And this is the way I go about it, right? Is I'll pretty much for 2 weeks log hour by hour, like minute by minute, every single thing that I do. At the end of the 2 weeks, I'll take it all, prioritize it from highest priority to lowest priority. Start at the lowest one, and I'll create a step-by-step detailed instruction as if I was going to pull someone from the street and tell him to read this. Then I'll record a video of me doing it. And then I'll do that for every single task, starting from the lowest to the highest. And then, once I hire someone, and obviously in the hiring procedure is a whole other beast. But once I hire someone, I'll go in and I'll say, hey, take SOP 1, take SOP 2, take SOP 3, and make sure that they're doing it exactly the way that I would do it. And since it's a video, you're literally duplicating what I did. And I pretty much clone myself. Like my employees, not only did I clone myself, but they're even better than me, because like one of my employees, she is so good at graphic design and so creative that she took everything that I was doing and enhanced it so much, because I'm an engineer, man. Like numbers is my game, like numbers, calculations, equations. Creative sucks for me. And then basically I took everything that I was doing for creative and gave it to someone, so they were doing everything that I was doing but better. And that really, like, creating clones of yourself, that's how it goes. And everything I have, all my SOPs, they're central. It's one sheet. Every single employee can watch every single SOP. I have no problem if the PPC employee wants to watch a graphic design SOP. Go for it.
Okay, very good. Kels.
Okay, from Aisha, if a product launched in a competitive niche in ACOS will be very high, how can we manage those campaigns?
I mean, very simple. Once you're past the launch phase, right, you're going to start aggressively. Like I said, shoot for break even. You don't want to make any money. You don't want to make any profits initially. After 2 months, once you're done, it's a very, very simple as what is now your target ACOS. If you want to start, being profitable, lower to 1.5 times profit margin, or maybe just 1 times profit margin. And then what I do is I download bulk sheets last 7 days. I do this every 7 days, but I leave a 7-day gap. So FYI, guys, Amazon attribution is at least 7 days delayed. Taylor from Better AMS, he basically downloaded his clients' stuff. Let's say like today is February 12th. So he downloaded from, let's say, February 8th to February 12th, and then waited a week to February 19th and downloaded that same February 8th to February 12th, and noticed up to 100% difference in the numbers. So some numbers that were 40 became 80. Some numbers that were 80 became 40. So the Amazon attribution is so delayed, based on this data, that I always, so today is the 12th. If I were to optimize, I would go back to the 5th. So I would optimize from January 28th to February 5th, for example. And so from there, I'll go download the bulk sheets, 7 days. I'll highlight everything, sort and filter. Go to column B, it should be record type. I'll click on that, and I'll only show keywords and product targets. Now that will show me only the keywords and product targets that I'm bidding on. If you go all the way to the right, you'll see the ACOS, and also you'll see the max bid. So one of the columns is max bid, one of the columns is ACOS. If the ACOS is higher than your desired, let's say the break even is 50% or your target is 50%. If it's 55, I lower it by 5 cents. So I don't do any equations. There's some people that, even Destiny, I disagree with her on this, but they do these equations. They're like, bid minus max bid divided by target ACOS. Dude, listen, you can't create an equation for something that's dependent on human behavior. So this is the approach I take. It's the exact same way as if I were to go into the shower, turn the hot water on. I put my hand in, it's too hot, I lower it a little bit. Put my hand in, it's too hot, I lower it a bit. That's it. So I go in, I look at my ACOS. It's 60%. My bid is $1.50. I'll lower it by 5 cents. I'll check again, 7 days later. It's still too high, I'll lower it by another 5 cents, and so on and so forth. If you overshoot too hard, you lose the impressions. And then you're going to have to kill yourself jumping back, overshooting, to where you were, just to get those impressions again, to get the data. So just lower it. Like, this is the sweet spot. You're here. The sweet spot. You're here. Just lower a little bit. And this is always moving because it's based on human behavior. So you're kind of just like very slowly chasing that sweet spot. And, it's just going to be like an up and down. But that's pretty much what I do to optimize the bids.
Okay, so let's say that you have 100 campaigns going, and you're going through and you're optimizing that nickel here or there. I know that a lot of people can't track that.
Yeah,
they can't track it in Amazon. They're trying to track it. Do you have a system or an app that you use that you recommend that people use for tracking their ACOS?
No, because this is what I do. I built a system where the actions take care of itself. So if the ACOS is too high, I'm lowering the bids. If the impressions are too low, I'm increasing the bids. So it's kind of in this cycle, right? Mm-hmm. And now every single day and every single week, I look at my total ACOS and my profit. Now, this is one thing that I please want to stress to everyone. Stop focusing too much on your ACOS. What you really care about is the dollar amount that's coming into your bank account, because this is a business. So what matters is what is my P&L at the end of the month. So if your ACOS is amazing, look, guys, I have a 12% ACOS. Okay, how much money did you make? $50, $100. My ACOS is 38%, and I made $500. So who's winning here? You because you have a lower ACOS, or me because actually there's more money coming into my bank account. So keep track of how much your profit is coming in, and then keep track of what your total ACOS is, which is what's the portion of your entire revenue that's being spent as Amazon advertising. Though as long as your total ACOS is lowering or your profit margin is increasing, that's really what, or not profit margin, sorry, your total dollar amount profit is increasing. That's what matters. Because if I'm doing actions, for example, I was just doing this the other day for a friend, right? He's like, Mina, please, like my stuff is messed up. So I go in, and one of his keywords had 60% ACOS, and I increased the bid by 10 cents. And he's like, Mina, why? This bid is so high. I said, take a look at it for a second. And we did a calculation, which was the sales from that keyword divided by the total sales. And that number was 20%. I said, this one keyword is responsible for 20% of your entire PPC revenue. You want me to lower the bid? Or should I increase the bid so I can drive more sales? Because every unit more that you sell, instead of saving you a little bit more money, I'm making you a lot more money. And in the grand scheme of things, your net dollar amount in your bank account is going to increase. So that's kind of the approach that I take.
Okay, very good. Before I get to the next question, I see it in the comments that you do have a course, PPC University, and you are offering $400 off of the course. We're not getting any affiliate,
No.
so it's just
Which is crazy.
It's just Norm, NORM, and you can get $400 off the course. So. Anyways, I just wanted to let people know. The other thing that we didn't talk about, we'll have a giveaway today. It's #BeMyValentine, and we're going to be sending out somebody a premium box of chocolates for Valentine's Day. How's that?
Very
So
nice.
just #BeMyValentine, and Kelsey will be writing a card.
Is that a US only?
That's U.S. only. Sorry, or Canada. U.S. or Canada.
US or Canada? Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah. US or Canada, what was it? #BeMyValentine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to put I love Kelsey, but I thought people, Oh, and by the way, it's a very sad day. Kelsey's last day today at the household. He'll be moving back to Toronto, and I won't be seeing him upstairs and razzing him after every show.
Yeah, we've been in lockdown for the past month and a half, so I figured that I'd stay here and kind of work out the business.
Where are you guys located?
We're just about 2 hours north of Toronto.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you are in Canada. All right.
Yeah.
Cold,
In the
man,
frozen
cold.
tundra.
Yeah.
So everybody seems to be loving what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
just want to touch on another. You were talking about bidding up, down. I see this is crazy. I see this on YouTube. I see this. I've seen this in courses where people say, "Oh, like don't bid. Like just try to spend $10 a day." And I see this on Facebook too. Oh, just do $5 a day. $300 a month. Like there's videos out there that say just spend, as little as possible. That's not the goal of what you're trying to do. You're trying to gather information. And I just wanted to get your expert advice on when you are launching a product, and I know this is 100% how long is a piece of string. It depends on so many different things. But, what is the proper way for you? Oh, geez, something's loading here. Just a sec. Okay. What is a proper budget to start off with?
Yeah, you said it. Really, like I said, take whatever money that you have that you put in. Let's say you bought 1,000 units. You put in $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever profit that you're gonna make from that $1,000, 1,000 units, that is how much money. So if 1,000 units means $10,000 in profit, I'm okay spending $10,000 in PPC. Until those 1,000 units sell, because by then obviously guys, you need to understand Amazon is not going to pay you that money for the sales for a while. So make sure you're ready to front another 1,000, but By the second 1,000, my first 1,000, cost of goods has come back, and I can keep putting that money, in the 1,000, in like to get more units. So essentially, initially when I'm launching, all of my profit is going to PPC. That's like where it's going. There's obviously a little bit of additional money that I'm spending on services, things, and all of that kind of stuff. And then, everything else is just going to go back to the units, but it's not going to happen in the first month or so. It's after you sell all of your units, maybe 2 weeks. Again, it all depends on where you are in the pay period based on Amazon. And this is a whole other ball game. The date range reports and understanding where you are is very complex. But yeah, that's my budget, is however much my total profit is for the first batch, which is 1,000 units.
Okay, very good. I know we're running just about at the end of the podcast here, but just off Amazon, what would be the first step if you're an Amazon seller? You're doing okay. Now you want to take the big plunge and go off of Amazon. Where would you look, or what would you do first?
Okay, so if we're talking basic, Instagram, that's the first thing that I would do, is start getting people to create content for you. Because first of all, I want you to think about this. If you saw a taco truck in the street and there was a massive line, you don't care how clean or dirty or whatever, you're going to go stand in that line because you see other people, demanding that. So make sure that you start having a lot of social, presence and awareness. So that's the first thing I would do. I sell supplements. The Hydrolyte is ideal for, endurance athletes or maybe women who do hot yoga. So I'm hitting up hot yoga studios. I'm hitting up CrossFit gyms. I'm going to the tagged photos. I'm finding the people who are tagging those places because it means that they're members there. And I am reaching out to them saying, hey, you're amazing. I love your profile. It looks beautiful. Can I just send you a product for free? All I want in exchange is content. Just send me a couple pictures. That's how I benefit, and you get something for free. It's a win-win. Are you down? I get a 50% answer of yes. So I reach out to 400 people, 200 say yes, and then I get 80% kind of send the content back. 20% they kind of, oh, my mom went here and this, and I lost the package, stuff like that. So that's kind of the first. Now here's the second thing that I would do. This is the nastier, uglier one. This is a long-term investment. Go, on your Shopify, create a Google Tag Manager. Go to Google Tag Manager, create a Google Tag Manager, and then add Facebook Pixel, which will come also with the Instagram Pixel, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever. All of the different pixels. These are tracking links. Add them to your Google Tag Manager, and add the Google Tag Manager to all of your pages on the Shopify. Now, from there, start creating content, assuming that I heard about you. So I went to your website once. I went to Hydrolyte once. What are some things that you can do to convince me to buy? So an unboxing video, like a review, a testimonial, a few benefits talking about, what would happen if you were dehydrated, right? So a few benefits there, right? Those are 3 videos. Create them in all of the native platforms. So if they're Facebook, create them as like in this. If they're story, create it as a story, and so on and so forth. And simply set up retargeting. So if anyone ever visits your website, they're now getting retargeted. If you have one product, it's super easy. If you have multiple products, take it a step further and create triggers depending on which URL they went to. So if they went to gohydrolyte.com/Hydrolyte Energizer, I want to hit them back with a Hydrolyte Energizer review. I want to hit them back with the benefits of Hydrolyte Energizer and why it's better than everyone else. I want to hit them back with an unboxing or a taste test of Hydrolyte Energizer. So it's very, very targeted. Once that retargeting is set up, okay, now it's like every time someone comes to your website, they're constantly reminded that you exist, and it's very, very cheap. From there, now you start pushing people to your website, okay? So I start with it's crazy, but I start with the bottom of the funnel and I build it up. So now that I built the bottom of the funnel to the middle of the funnel, now I build the top of the funnel. And the top of the funnel, vast. Okay, it can be micro influencers, it can be running Facebook ads, brand awareness campaigns, and so on and so forth. You just want people to come to your website and browse around, and then from there, based on where they browsed or based on how long they browsed, because you don't have to trigger for every single person, you can trigger for specific people. Obviously, you're going to trigger for USA only people if you're selling only in the USA, and so on. You can trigger for people who spent a certain amount of time on the website, and so on and so forth. So you can be pretty targeted with your retargeting. But once you build that bottom of the funnel, when someone comes and sees you, they're kind of reminded again and again and again. And honestly, for me, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hey Mina, remember you wanted that pre-workout? Hey Mina, we have the look. Hey Mina, this person is doing a lot of cool exercises and he took our pre-workout. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. And I've done that many times. Alani Nu, I think, did it once, and like they had this like mimosa energy. It tastes like mimosa, right? Energy drink tastes like, man. I'm addicted to it now. I love it so much. It's so good. But it was literally me seeing people drink it like 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, dude, let me just try it. Like, let me just buy some. And so that's what I would do. It's not hard. It is very nasty. It's very nasty stuff. It's code, and there's going to be a lot of like researching. How do I add my Snapchat pixel? How do I add my Pinterest pixel? And so on and so forth. Once you get that done, it's like just build it as a plan. Once you get that done, it's super simple, because all you have to do is keep increasing the different ads that you're running to the top of the funnel, and keep testing all of these different middle and bottom of the funnel ads. One of the ads will stick. Maybe it's this hot girl who is trying out, let's say you're selling a bag. Maybe it's a hot girl trying out a bag, and people love that. And that's converting super, super well. Be like, okay, cool. Now that that's converting super well, let's open the floodgates and bring a shit ton of people in there. So that's kind of my advice.
Okay, very good. So we are winding down. I got one other question. This might be a tough one. You've dropped so many nuggets here. I can see it all in the comments too. Is there anything else? Is there one thing that you haven't talked about today that is a must-do or a nugget that you can provide that Amazon sellers or e-com sellers could do to improve their sales?
It's just the tough, pill to swallow, that there's no silver bullets. There's no one thing that you can do to increase your sales a lot. Nothing is going to do anything a lot. And unfortunately, I know that you want some sort of track or hack or PPC trick or something. It just doesn't exist. It's brick by brick. And the faster that you accept that, the faster you're going to grow. So be very slow and systematic. And your business depends on you. So there's no person doing $50 million if they're not a $50 million person. Okay. So you have to grow your skills. You have to get better at accounting. You have to get better at raising money. You have to get better at selling yourself, selling your product, getting into retail. You have to do all of the tough stuff. So stop thinking that there's something out there that is going to make your sales a lot better. Stop looking at that and start looking at what's one thing that I can do to myself right now that is going to improve me as a businessman, and then what's one thing I can do to my listing and my business right now to improve my business just a little bit. Because trust me, you have 365 days in the year. If you improved your business a little bit every single day after 365, it really adds up.
Okay, and Barb, I just saw that you were quoted $10,000 for your A+ content page.
What?
I'll do it. I will do it for 5. Just send me your info.
I'll do it for 4.5.
I also saw Usman was talking about what is the item. Sorry, it's cut off my screen. It's a data quality report. What is a data quality report?
I don't know. I haven't heard of that.
Okay, I think I know this, Usman. It's just, it basically defines the quality of your listing, the overall quality of your listing. It'll go through every little item that you're doing, and it'll rate it. It's a report that Amazon uses. And I think that's what you're talking about.
And one last thing from Adriana. How do you spell Jeff Minnick?
So it's MINNICHBACH. Minich Batch. It took me a lot of time because I keep tagging him. It took a lot of time to even figure out how to spell his last name, but it's Minich Back. MINNICHBACH.
Okay, I think I found
Okay.
it.
He's an amazing guy, dude. Like, family guy, kids, living in Maryland, like living his own life. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, very good. I
Very
gotta
humble.
check that
You would
out.
never expect him to have 250 plus employees. Like, it's crazy.
Not for photography. It is crazy. Look, we have on Mondays, we're trying to get our guests to come over and join us on Clubhouse at 1:30. Brand new to us. We started it last week. We had we had a good result. And if people are coming out and supporting us, we'll do it again, just like the podcast. And what I like about Clubhouse is our audience can actually come on and start talking and asking questions. Are you able to come on next Monday?
You said 11
It would be at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern. That's 10. Yeah, I could do that.
Perfect. Okay, great. All right. So I think that's it. How do people contact you, sir?
Facebook is Mina Elias, MINA space ELIAS. Instagram at Egyptian_prescription_Elias. So only the two places that I really check my messages. LinkedIn and that kind of stuff is too much spam. And yeah, hit me up.
Okay, very good. Let's do the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, all right. So just a second.
I thought there'd be hundreds of people wanting a box of chocolates on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say no to a box of chocolates either.
All right. So here we
Wow, I should have entered, guys.
You should have.
there, I'll just make sure I didn't miss anyone on my other screen.
Okay.
Just a second. I think I got everyone. Yep. Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Olga.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. You know
Oh,
what?
man, Jeffrey.
It was Jeffrey.
It was
I mean, that was on
My
the
hater.
borderline. That was on. Look at Olga and Jeffrey. How's that? Because that was right on the border. That's the first time that's happened.
Wow.
Okay, so we'll send something out to you today. If you can, just let Kelsey know your information, and we'll get that ordered.
Dark chocolate.
Might not hit Valentine's Day, but we're going to try that. Okay, guys. Okay, Mina, thank you, sir. Come back.
Yes.
I know
thank you guys
it's
for having
taken
me.
like 6 months for us to mesh, right? But you got to come back, and we'll talk more. I saw Stephen was on here too, Pope, and we got to get him back on as well.
Man, Stephen Pope is an incredible guy.
He is. Yeah. He's got a great podcast. My Amazon guy. You got to check that out. But
Yeah, I was on
Lunch
it.
with Norm.
Very
Don't
good
lunch-
podcast.
Remember Lunch with Norm Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Okay, but Stevens is also a good podcast. All right. So, sir, thank you for being on the podcast, and we'll definitely be in touch.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Norm. Thanks, Kelsey.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
you, Mina. Okay, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Next week, we've got Chase Norland, and it's going to be a really interesting podcast. Something we don't talk about, but something that's really affected me a few times, cybersecurity. So how do you lock down your websites? How do you lock down and make sure that you're not going to get this? I went into GoDaddy. They had taken my name. They had put it up for auction. They put it listed my domain name. And this is one of my companies as $1 premium domain. They bought it, and then I had to go and I had to buy it back from. And I had to pay I had to pay a huge buck to get my domain name back because I got scammed. I know if Shane's listening, he's rolling his eyes because we could have avoided what was happening just by doing better or having better cybersecurity rules in place. So I can't tell you how important it is, but please tune in. It's going to be a great show.
Okay, yeah, awesome. We got a good lineup next week. So
Who else is going to be there, Kels?
we got Chris Brewer And then we also have Brian Johnson.
Okay, great. Very good.
And then we also have our Kevin King episode the next week after that.
That'll be great. Okay. So I think that's it.
Yeah, so I just want to mention quickly, for people watching from the Norman Farrar personal page, we can't see your content or like the post you put up. So I think Destiny, Tony, Marcia, they were all commenting on the Norman Farrar page, but we can't see it. So if you want to go either to our Facebook page, YouTube, LinkedIn, our Facebook group, that's where we can see your comments and we can pull you up on the screen.
Okay. All right. Very good. Kelsey wasn't being rude.
Yeah, I wasn't just picking up. But I do check and make sure we're not missing anything. And yeah, there's tons of questions. We couldn't get to all of them because I guess, yeah, PPC is just so complex. There's a lot of questions that people want to know about, and we can go down a bunch of different rabbit holes. So there'll be lots of other times where we can answer those questions. And if you have anything that you really want to have answered, just post it in the Facebook group. Easy way. Oh, we have Brian Johnson there. I'm sure Mina, he might be, if he's not part of the group already, I'm sure he would love to join, or even like with the Clubhouse episode too. So there's lots of different ways you can get your questions answered.
All right. Well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I guess we're at the end here. So tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Eastern Standard Time at noon. Thank you, everybody, for watching. The community is growing. We love it. And just want to thank everybody for joining us throughout all this, the last almost, I guess it's getting close to a year. It's getting there. It's getting there.
I think it was the end of April that we started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies. Tempus fugit. Okay, so see everybody later.
Lunch with the